Come on.
Take your time. Nothing happens. Hurrying makes it. When we hurry, we make babies.
Well, here we go. We are live, I think, on LinkedIn somewhere, LinkedIn and YouTube, and we're going live on Instagram as well. There we go. So I'm going to close that, I think. um, and today, Michael, I missed you.
I
I'm
missed you
glad to
too.
be with you here.
Yeah.
We're talking about mastering perceptions, and we were just, this is why we're a little bit late. Late is not really a thing, is it? We're just, yeah, now, and we were kind of talking about reactions. There's all kinds of funny astrological things happening at the moment. I don't know if you know about them. Kind of,
I don't know anything about that. I'm
yeah,
not a. I'm not a spiritual. I'm a spiritual being, but I'm not spiritual. A spiritual savant. That's what I
no,
am.
yeah.
Not.
Well, me neither. I just,
Yeah.
I learn, and there is an interesting conjunction on its way. It's kind of tomorrow. It will conjunct Mars and Uranus, and it's
Mhm.
kind of a, I don't know what it'll bring. Apparently, it's something on Trump stuff. I see there was a assassination attempt on Trump, and there's all this stuff going on. But
The world is
I'm
going on. This is a perception. It's perfect that you say that. It's perfect. Absolutely divine that you say that because
yeah,
it's all a perception. The perception is, we talk since the first day, you and I, human centric, system relevant. And now in the last 10 days, I realized there's another realm that's
mm,
called digital world. And there's another realm that's called in the digital world, or between, the system relevant is segregated in digital world and then the political and news realm, where because we talked about it that news and political are codependent.
mm,
And those are different realms that broadcast out their energy, their vibration. And so if you're not perception, if your perception is correct, if you don't know, I'm now in the system like school. We just talked about school, right?
yes,
I'm in the system relevant realm of school that is its own realm. I mean, we talked about that before. Education is basically a, a realm where where it's not about teaching. It's not about they just use teaching, but what it is a realm to uh, by itself. Because when you come out of Harvard or Cambridge or whatever, you don't have a job. It's not mean that your kid's gonna be fine now. They have a degree from Harvard, I think. So that's all not true. So it's in that realm. You just have to go through it, do your stag parties and all that stuff that you do as a kid. In
yes,
that
mm,
finding out more of who you are, and then you
mm,
get out in the real world.
mm,
And so when the perception of the what happened, the assassination, when that is perceived is in that realm is a crisis. In that realm, that doesn't mean and it's a crisis in you and me or anybody else. But we make it because they all are into education, into promoting their realm.
mm,
We don't, because when you go shopping, you go grocery store shopping, you go in the street, get your car fixed. People are friendly. People
mm,
are saying nice. There's no, oh, that race is weird. No. And
yeah,
I was thinking, as long as you don't experience what you see on TV, for example, in the realm of news media and politics, which is basically entertainment,
mm,
it doesn't get anywhere. You know,
yeah,
because the politics that work you don't see. You only see the politics that don't work.
mm,
So uh, we never embrace the politics that actually works. I mean, I was a politician, you know that. So
yeah,
you never know and hear from that because it's normal. That's what's expected that politics works.
mm,
And what it's always pointed out what doesn't it because media and politics work together. So They're not thinking, say, oh, Michaell just passed this beautiful law and everybody's happy. That is not news. And the funny thing is the perception of a perception, neither Trump nor Biden are the power. They are talking heads of
Yeah.
groups,
Yeah.
you know?
As with any country, really. I mean, it's,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. It's the groups. So the perception of saying, oh my God, this is happening. The world is going under. We had Second World War. We had Hiroshima. We had Vietnam. We had Korea. We have all the Falkland Wars. We have all these wars. I mean, right now we have 58 wars that they're raging on around the world. But the war isn't a war like it was. It's to control people, to manipulate people, to that realms fight with each other. You know, that who has more power, the digital world, which I mentioned before. It's a digital world. In the digital world, it's the farthest away from human centricity. The digital world is the farthest away because you can just cancel a person. You can deny a biological gender. You can say, no, it's not just woman and man. It's everything else, even though that's made up. And it's nothing wrong thinking you are this or that. But you can't go against what we are. We are humans, and you can't. But in the digital realm, I can sue you. I can do everything if you say, "Oh, there's only." There is only man and woman, but there is also that you identify as this, and this. I'm identifying myself as a furry, as a monkey with a space head. Yes, I identify myself. That's my one of oneness that I identify with. But I'm born a man. You're born a woman, right? So I can identify myself with everything in the digital realm. And I think that is so the perception where we are and what we're doing changes everything. Because when you look at we have so much unveiled. We say, oh, human centrically, that is the truth. System relevantly, where it's generalization. It's humans are not one-on-ones in systems. They are, every categorization the system gives us, neurodiverse, dyslexic.
But even those are just systems. That's all system relevant. It's all, so when we're talking about the digital world, we touched on it last time after our live conversation, and it's just a very interesting concept for me because it also happens in our real world. It also happens in building our own identity, from a child or when we move into different aspects of business. There's a dual aspect to perception. So I take in what I get from the external, and I become often what I put out to society or to the world. So I decide I want to be seen as blah, 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 a woman, or a woman that's an entrepreneur that is fascinated by wisdom. And that is who I then become because I delve into that world. But as soon as I create something out of who I really am, like the stuff that's heart-centered, I think that's the difference maybe. Once I get too much into my head and I go, okay, let me draw up a plan, and then I'm going to become this little avatar with like this, and got bigger boobs and smaller ankles and whatever it is. But it isn't necessarily something that I yearn for. It's not something that lights me up. It's something that a book told me is going to sell, or a motivational speaker said is the way to do it, or, it's not internal, it's external. And then there becomes a not imbalance, a space that separates me from myself. And now that we've created this digital aspect, we can just be anything and anyone, and we don't have to have accountability for being a twat.
Yeah.
Because I can just be whatever I want to, and if I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to be cruel and rude and horrible and
Cancel
have
people,
no
cancel
responsibility.
people. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're
No
not
problem.
real, because I'm not real. So it's that NCP kind of a non-character player thing where, yeah, you have no responsibility really for being you, because it is quite a responsibility to really, or not, responsibility is also not the right word.
It's the truth. It's probably a truth, the one-on-oneness, you mean. Because
Yeah.
you're selling out the one-on-oneness. You say, I
Mm.
rather want to be outside accepted versus being who I am by nature, right? You are by
Yeah.
nature 101. There's one Michaell. There's nobody else. You can look all over the world. There will be never found anybody like you, like me.
Mm.
And you say, okay, I'm giving that up because I make myself fit in, which is a DNA drive. We said that, to fit in. We fit in automatically. See, we don't have to think, we have to make ourselves fit in. That makes us, that shames us, because we say, I'm not good enough. I have to be that person. I have to have a doctor's title. I have to be this to fit in. And it washes your one-on-oneness out. And because you think you're not enough, you have to strive to become something, not to
Yes.
be something. In school, for example, to you are somebody, you're 101, and you got to figure out, life is to figure out what that oneness represents, even in systems and everything else. And you just, no, I have to become this, I have to go to school, I'm nothing. And in
Well, yeah,
school,
exactly.
it
If
makes,
we started with everything, and there's so much of my journey at the moment, or have been for a couple of years, of unlearning all these things that we were so almost indoctrinated by, having to do all these things. And it comes at a cost, because it comes at a cost of not fitting in, but also not wanting to fit in, not wanting to be like everyone else, because that's not who I am, or who you are. But then also to sometimes be excluded, which is actually fine. But it is frustrating if you, I just, with the past couple of days, I've been experiencing quite a bit as to, there's almost a level of disrespect sometimes, which makes me so angry. And as I said earlier, when I get, no, it's not anger, it's a disempowerment, kind of, when I didn't know how to deal with things, and then I get emotional, and then I begin crying, and it's not a weakness crying. It's like, I just don't know what to do with all this emotion.
it's a truth cry that your emotion wants to point you that you are correct. Your emotion wants to either think that for you, Michaell. So if I get angry, right, that anger can show me two things: either I'm correct. It's anger is always a symptom of control. That I'm correct, or that I'm going to be controlled. And I should never, nobody should ever be controlled, because we're all one-on-one. So nobody knows. So because control assumes that one person knows more than you. And it doesn't, because there's nothing to know, because you're one-on-one, I'm one-on-one. And if I'm pushing you into a box, you feel frustrated, flustered. And especially when it is, the tribe, the system, somebody hides behind the tribe in a system position, and then puts you in a corner and say, Michaell, no, you can't. And they hide, so they're safe, but by their safety, they make you unsafe. By them not seeing the perspective that we are one-on-one, that's exactly, the perspective says everything. So in which realm are we playing? And and are we, because in the digital perspective, I can do anything. In the digital, I can be Superman in an avatar. I can cancel people. Which I would never do in person. If I be in the same room with you, I would never cancel it. It's impossible to cancel you. But on the digital realm, I can cancel you. I can literally cancel you. There's no such thing as human canceling human. There is no such thing. That's made up. That's a dream. Oh, if I, think I want to cancel these people, then I finally matter. I've mattered that we, the protectors of animals, canceled this person because they could. I'm not saying it's good to hurt the animals, but you can't cancel a person because she's unaware or he's unaware of what they're doing.
And there's a lack of connection in that, isn't it? Because you are now canceling that the person because the difference in ideas, but there's no connection in how do we find that dialogue and that common ground, and how do we connect to each other. And that being said, I mean, we also don't need to put ourselves in spaces or places or energies or people that don't help us or see us as how we want to be or become or are, or
what you are.
Yeah,
I mean,
how we are.
it's like if I wish you were blonde. What the hell? No, you should have different eye color. You should have this. You should have that.
Yeah. There's a favorite quote of mine. I actually popped it in here as we were talking earlier, and it's, "I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I'm what I think you think I am. So I become the version of me that I think, is how you see me." And that's why for me it's so important to surround yourself with people that you want to be seen as, if that makes any sense.
But I think you almost give up the power, because when you are who you are, you're perfect as you're born, right? You're the 101 perfectly as you're born. So this is the perception. See that again, we are talking in the realm. The realm here is, thank you that you put that up, because it shows it. So you are who you are. Nature doesn't make mistakes. You're 101. You are perfect, and you grow. And in that growing, you find more and more of who you are. Life is unveiling more of your 101-ness. But our functioning, we want to obviously be having a shadow that, for example, you to me or I to you, I want to be seen by Michaell as this, and you want to be seen by me as this. Usually that's normal. That's a normal thing. So I want to be not seen that Michaell is a queen and she's this and that and this and that, or she's a horrible person or this and that. You want to be seen by me so you feel right. But you are right? You are right, and you feel that I'm looking at you not as, oh, you're a monkey, no, or you are a giraffe or something. You want to be seen as Michaell, and so you see the perception how tricky that is,
Yes, exactly, and that's what it's so that gives it that duality, because in essence, no one is actually ever going to know the whole me except for me. You are going to see versions of me, and so are my children, and so is my husband, and so are my friends and whoever. But all of those pieces together make the full me, and I'm the only one that gets to see that. Yeah. And as I'm playing quite a lot with this aspect of silence and quiet and being silent in conversations, dialogue, that's kind of space. And it can be a very intimate thing, because in that silence, there are no projected perceptions. There is no pretense, because there's no words. There's nothing that is made up. Yeah. It's just, it just is.
It just is. It's solitude. It's actually feeling yourself. I think silence is feeling yourself, feeling the essence of you. That's why you like science, because you have a harder time than me, because you're feminine, you're female. So that's harder, and you need the silence, that because you need that self-reflection, of who
Mm.
you are and feel
Like
it, and not just
not
taking my
just in
word for them.
solitude.
Yeah,
Yeah, even in company. We I drove down to London last week and we did a dialogue situation with there were 5 of us in total. So we would walk in dialogue and have long silences. And in those silences, there's a lot of connection with other people who are silent with you in that space. Um, yeah.
we can never disconnect. We can never disconnect. We're always connected with everyone. That's the whole thing. That our belief that we can separate from anybody, or that those are not me. That's the biggest illusion that we have. I'm
Mm,
not. I'm a part of Michaell. Michaell is a part of me, but not like, oh, Michaell, she's so horrible, I don't want to talk to her, or she's so great, I want to be with her. No, we are not segregated. We are all part of each other, and the the delusion is that we are segregated, so we can kill. Like I said before, we kill
mm,
650,000 people in a war, and think we have no. There's no. It doesn't matter. No, you can't act like inhumane,
mm,
but you are a human. You can't do this when you think, oh, this person really deserves to be killed. He's still a part of you. He's still that one person that, even if you hate him with a vengeance,
mm.
and it also really doesn't give you, because when you really go into it, if they kill that serial killer, right, if they shoot him, like, they shot the guy from that tried to assassinate Trump. It it's not solved. The problem is not solved, because it just
Yeah.
not. It's not. I mean, as much as we want to, punishment is proven on psychological level and anything else, that it's impossible. It's impossible to punish. It's impossible to have an effect. It doesn't resolve anything. Punishment is basically a reaction to what happened.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
we
I
did
mean,
all.
sometimes we need distance. Sometimes there are people that just do not bring out the best in us, or that aren't the
Absolutely, yeah.
people that we need to be around. And
Mhm.
um, and as you say, they always stay with us though. That version of them that
Yeah.
triggered or did whatever it was that wasn't good. Um, and it doesn't mean that we need to cancel or be angry or have
No.
any of those other things involved in the situation. But yeah,
I
there
always
is.
say you don't have to hug him. You don't have to hug the people. You can go on the other side of the boat. We're all in the same boat. You can go on the other side of the boat. And
Yeah.
yesterday, Masari said, reminded me of something that I knew, but I've almost forgot. He said, if Hitler wasn't here, somebody else would have done the deed. If we wouldn't have this war, dropped the bombs, something else would have done. The
Mm,
stuff happens. It's not like you can prevent things from happening. From, like, you got angry. Yeah, you can't. You have to allow it through you. We are kind of the projectors of our
mm,
reality. So when stuff happens to us, we need to just let it through. We need to feel the emotions, because it guides us to our one-on-oneness.
yeah.
So if we say, "Oh no, we're not talking about it," all of a sudden, never war, or all of a sudden, we're not taking over, and people will never figure out we putting some poison and some stuff into the food. They'll never figure that out, and now everybody has cancer. They,
Mm,
they never figure out if we put we have a responsibility of every action that we are, and we have human rights, but we also have human responsibilities to be uh, and because of our perception that human centricity is not number one, that we perceive it as, oh, humans. You look, whenever system relevance doesn't work, they blame the humans. It's always the humans' fault, even though the humans weren't creating that. But whenever something collapses, the wars are the humans' fault. No, the regular human has not much say in a war. Has not much. Yeah,
unless the regular human gets indoctrinated by what the media is telling them about how
exactly,
bad this other person was, and
exactly.
therefore it is rightful for them to
Mhm.
die, or it's and that's where that what we allow into our own beings,
Mm-hmm.
whether information or people, or is so important if we want to be true to our one of oneness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
because
one-on-one is
everything is trying to move us away from it, and even labels, even
yeah,
neurodivergent or neurotypical or
mental
whatever,
health.
mental
Yeah,
health, all of
yeah.
that is just ways for us to go, oh, I'm not enough, so I need to be better, and I need to do this and that and that.
And we
And
take it like we take it like, oh my God, our mental health. I mean, I talk to a lot of, because I'm working with that university, and I talked to a lot of 20, 30-year-old, 20, 25, 18-year-old kids. And when we were growing up, and this is what my observation. So when you and I grew up, there was nature, right? The human centricity, the nature what I wanted, and it was systems, because there wasn't even internet when we were
yeah.
little. So now it's internet. That this is the perception. It's system relevance and digital realm. These kids grew up with the internet and digital realm. So for them, system relevant is life. That's the habitat that was for us human centricity.
Yeah.
And that's what now kids tell me, what I'm going to do, yeah, and we have to give rights to, like systemically, we have to give rights to whatever we identify as whatever. And we have to do that because that's the natural thing. It's not. The natural thing is human centricity 101, not system relevant. And they cannot compartmentalize. We are perfect as we are because nature doesn't make a mistake. So they say, I have to fit, which from your kids, I have to fit in. And this is exactly what we say. No, you fit in automatically. That's the perception that is wrong, because in this realm you have to get an education. In that realm you have to have viewers, and in the digital realm you have to have viewers and likes and whatever. It drives us, the digital realm drives us even further away from our value that we have by nature, our equality that we have by nature. It's not like women are bad, men are this race is bad. No, nature doesn't make a mistake. Everybody we are, and we pretend. So double pretending. No, I have to be in this perception, and I have to fit in because this is my survival, and this is
Yeah.
insane.
It is insane. I want to distinguish between fitting in and belonging, because fitting in
Yeah.
doesn't work for me. While belonging is, we belong naturally. We
Mhm.
are belonging
We
to,
belong. We
yeah,
belong. Period.
we belong, but we don't need to fit in, because in the fitting in, it's like, okay, now I have to be this thing that is the
Yeah.
same box, the same
Mhm.
tick marks as that other thing, and then I
Mhm.
fit in, and then it's like more a systemic thing. But belonging is a connection. It is a human centric concept for me.
It's not even a concept. It
No,
is.
this just
It's a
is.
fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
You belong. Fact. If you feel that feeling belonging is something different. I don't feel I belong
Yeah.
because I haven't found. This is so good that you bring this up, because every human I've talked to, quarterbacks to cheerleader girls to the superstars of our colleges, and they said they never fit in. Even though the guy is the top guy, is looked at. I don't think Elon Musk fits in. I don't think Jeff Bezos, because we can't fit in. It's
No.
we are belonging to human race, to human our species.
Inhabitants of
We
the earth.
belong. There's no discussion. We all
Yeah.
belong because we are human, right? We all belong. Do we feel we belong in a system? Because let's see, that's the other perception. There's the system relevance, or the political and media, and there's the digital world. In these realms, nobody fits, because the realms work on generalizations. You
Yes.
are
The other
right. So the
the standard.
generalization,
Yeah.
you are an AI guy if you are doing the AI think. But me, I'm working on AI totally from a human centric point.
I know.
I
Yeah.
don't. And and I'm invited everywhere to speak, and nobody, and I have no idea about AI. I never said I'm the total Luddite. I have no clue how AI works or whatever.
Yeah.
But I see that the AI is, that's, you know, when we create something, we it has to be a tool.
Mm.
And when we create life that is sensual, then when we create a life that is sensual, then we cannot treat it like us, because then that life will revolute against us. We have to leave it free.
Yeah.
And we can't let it free because we don't trust it, because we are
Yeah.
so system relevant, we are so trusted. So all this stuff, so it's beautiful. Thank you, Michaell. It's a beautiful, as usual. It's just, one week we don't talk, and it's horrible. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you just touched on something that I think we're going to move over to next week, and that's trust, because I have a lot to say around that as well. And we're in our mastery theme for the month. So I look forward to our conversation next week, Monday. Michaell, thank you as always.
Thank you. And always look at the perspective. In what realm are you actually interacting right now? So you don't take it serious, because you, human-centrically, you're perfect as you are. You don't have to have an education. You don't have to, it's nothing required. You are perfect as you are. And then look at we created the realms like politics and media, system relevance, the digital world. Try to identify that and see the difference, the perspective, to sharpen your perspective. See the difference between the digital world and human centricity. What is the difference? Because one is totally mind versus one is being. The human centricity is being, interacting with animals. In the digital world, it's all made up. It's completely mind. It's obviously very much ego too, and skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.